Homes and businesses destroyed, washed out roads more than a week after Helene passed through our mountain towns. We continue surveying the damage.
And more than a week after Helene passed through these mountain towns, the surveying continues of the damage. From Buncombe County's Riceville community, News 13's Justin Berger reports on a story of survival.
Helene left her mark here on Old Farm School Road, toppling trees and sending debris down the Swannanoa River. 75-year-old Jimmy Ogle was trapped in his home behind me, his family unsure if he was alive for 2 days.
It just looks like a bomb went off down here.
On the banks of the Swannanoa River, residents on Old Farm School Road had never seen flooding like this.
That's why he stayed. For 75 years, nobody's ever seen it that high. All that was underwater. It was up. It's just the house is destroyed inside.
Edward Wolf drove from Charlotte last Saturday, looking for his cousin Jimmy.
I went in the house and started searching that night, and I was hoping I was not going to find him deceased.
With Jimmy's wife in the hospital prior to the storm, no one had heard from Jimmy since Helene passed through.
And I didn't even know if this road was passable.
He found his cousin at the neighbor's house, shaken up with quite a story.
On top of a table, floating, and he was holding on for dear life on the inside of that screened-in room. And he had his little dog in a Rubbermaid container floating.
Jimmy's neighbor pulled him up on the roof with a rope, eventually making their way to the back of the house.
He jumped down on that, put him on had him slide down with the dog, put him on his back, and went through the water in and up into the woods to that house where Alan Levy and them and his wife wrapped him up in blankets and got him dried out. I was just overjoyed. I mean, I was just overjoyed because now I could go tell his wife. And we got phone signal to Mission, to his wife, and let him know that he was alive. And he got to go see her the next morning, and I think it was the happiest moment. You know, because that not knowing is what kills you.
Now,
he grew up here. He grew up here over off of Riceville in a tiny little cabin.
Restoration.
That white building there, that's not even ours. That trailer over there, that's not even his. That all came from downriver.
The good news, 75-year-old Jimmy doesn't have to do it alone.
We met a man at the gas station that told us this road was hit hard, so we rode down here and talked to a neighbor, and they said this man was in need of some help.
TJ Jenkins drove up 2.5 hours Sunday morning from Salisbury with his 3 sons, a crew of 10 people.
We don't even know these people.
I want my kids to see, you know, what the world's going on and how you can try to help people and pay it forward. Hopefully they can do that.
The folks from Triple J Ranch cleared debris and helped Jimmy collect washed away items.
These people need help. We're at home, we could be up here helping, and I would hope that people return the favor. That's what's missing today.
It's a long road to restoration, and every extra set of hands helps. Reporting in Buncombe County, Justin Berger, News 13.
Duke Energy is releasing new video showing the incredibly difficult and sometimes complicated task of restoring power to customers who are still without it.
Yeah, certainly. Last night in a one-on-one interview, a Duke spokesperson told us there are still about 100,000 customers without power in western North Carolina. Bill Norton reporting roughly 67,000 of those customers are in Buncombe County. And in some of this video, you can see the extent Duke crews are going to in some of the most hard-hit areas. Some of these shots show crews flying in power poles by helicopter in Henderson County. In another instance, Norton says some linemen actually trudged more than a mile on foot to get to an area and to get it up and running.
In the Henderson County area, Big Hungry Road over the weekend, we were using a helicopter, pulling in by a chain underneath the helicopter itself, just flying in power poles and then guiding them down into the hole with linemen on the ground, really doing that fine tuning, that fine shifting to get it in just right. It's a challenging, it's an innovative solution, and it's also time efficient. I mean, it's not something we would do on a routine basis, but it gets us past that bridge that's out, and it gets that pole in quickly.
Norton hasn't released a timeline for the remaining customers, but says he expects to see many of them restored on a day-to-day basis throughout the week ahead.
And while some school systems in WNC have been able to resume classes, many are left with uncertain futures. Here's a look at the status of school systems in the region. Jackson County Schools returns today. McDowell, Rutherford, and Polk County Schools plan to bring students back on Wednesday, October 9th, and Transylvania County Schools are set to open on October 14th. Meanwhile, Asheville, Buncombe, Haywood, Henderson, Madison, and Mitchell counties are all still closed. New this morning, the ongoing water outage in Asheville, now in its 10th day, caused by Helene, means some detainees at the Buncombe County Jail will be moved to other detention facilities. The sheriff's office says it's a preventative measure since it's not clear when the water will be back on. They say that by reducing the jail's population, it'll ensure that all detainees can continue to have access to showers and toilets.
Hundreds of people gathered at a makeshift service at Hendersonville High School's football stadium for Sunday church. News 13's Gracie Matisse was there and shows us how people are coming together after Helene.
A large meeting place for folks to gather, talk, and listen Sunday morning here at Hendersonville High School's football stadium. People are escaping the devastation in their neighborhoods just for a moment to listen to a message of unity and hope. Crowding into the stadium at Hendersonville High School, a picture of peace amid the chaos. Hands raised in worship, neighbors hugging each other and praying. One family from Batcave lost everything in the storm.
We heard a very loud thud, and that was a couple-ton boulder that was in the room next to ours. It came and knocked the wall down in the bed we were supposed to be sleeping in, and then obviously thousands of pounds of mud and all that poured into the house.
But they're here, sharing their story and their faith.
We're just kind of here to praise God because he was faithful regardless of the storm.
First Baptist Church has been busy all week long as a distribution center and point of contact. That's when their new rallying cry formed. Come on, WNC.
Whenever we would hear of people wanting to bring supplies to us and the staff would just be like, come on, that's great. And then it turned into people were wanting to volunteer, more trucks were wanting to come, and we said, come and serve Hendersonville, come on to us.
Alexander says God has been showing up through the kindness of others in the form of seemingly endless donations and volunteers, and now the Sunday service helping to put everything into perspective.
You don't recognize just how much your friends and family matter until you're not sure if you're going to see them again.
The distribution center at the church on 5th Avenue is opening up this week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to hand out those supplies to people in need. For anyone who wants to stay connected, you can follow updates on the church's Facebook page.
And there are a couple of closures out there. Those interstates impacted by Helene. I-40 is closed near the Tennessee state line. It is open areas east of Asheville. I-26 also closed near the Tennessee state line, but open in the areas surrounding Asheville, as well as south and east. And speaking of some road closures, News 13's Gracie Matisse is in Biltmore Village for us here this morning, talking about some expected road closures in that area. Gracie?
Yeah, Katie, good morning to you. Hendersonville Road, Biltmore Avenue, going to be closing in just under 30 minutes here at 7 o'clock, and that'll be going until 6 o'clock tonight. And that's really because of obviously the extensive damage that they have here in Biltmore Village, but also because of the recovery and because of the construction that's already starting to happen here. You can see behind me a Grand Bohemian Hotel. They've got trucks really all along Hendersonville Road there. They're already starting to try to gut the bottom level of their hotel. Everything's being taken out of there. Not just the Grand Bohemian Hotel, though, many other businesses right along this major thoroughfare. So if you do come up and if you do use this road to get to work, there will be detours all around there. So just heed those signs and obviously go slow as you're approaching this area. Now live in Biltmore Village, Gracie Matisse, News 13.
And today, some changes to alert you to in Henderson County.
Yeah, there will now be 2 resource hubs open for water and other supplies. They are at Etowah Elementary School and Mills River Town Hall. The hubs will be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Each family will get enough supplies for a day's meal. These locations are drive-through, so you don't even have to get out of your car.
2 churches in Henderson County will also be handing out supplies. They are Ebenezer Baptist Church on Chimney Rock Road and First Baptist Church on 5th Avenue. Ebenezer will distribute supplies from 10 until 1 today, Wednesday and Friday. First Baptist will have supplies from noon until 4 on Tuesday and 10 until 2 on Saturday. Ingalls and the Red Cross are getting set to hand out 1,500 meals every day this week.
That's a lot of meals. 3 stores will take part in this giveaway. They'll have 500 meals each. Now, the meals will be handed out starting at 1 o'clock in the parking lot of these stores. The Ingalls on Highway 19 in Burnsville, the one on Weaver Boulevard in Weaverville, and the one on New Leicester Highway in Asheville.
Brand new this morning, we're hearing about the challenges of working as a lineman restoring power here in Western North Carolina.
Yeah, let's hear from 2 men as they describe all the obstacles they had to overcome just to get the lights back on in Virginia.
And I come from a long line of families that my dad, my grandpa, all my nieces. I was Air Force. My son's a Marine, so I said, hey, I want this. So I told my apprentice, and we were like, let's get this on for the VA. Up and down terrain that was covered with bushes to our chest, and then when we finally got where it was a flat, it was the washed out area from the floods. So it was every step you almost losing your boots in the mud. When we finally got there, it was actually made it kind of hard to climb because I had so much mud on my boots.
It was a pretty good feeling. I mean, I feel like we, in our own way, gave back. I mean, them guys have given so much, so in our own way, we gave it back to them.
Obviously, that was to the VA, not Virginia. My bad there, excuse me.
It's a little funny in the teleprompter.
Yeah, but you know what, the folks there, those guys, well, talk about like...
We were just saying, I mean, it's unbelievable what these linemen are doing. Conditions that are scary, dangerous conditions, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
And they're so committed to just being of service, coming from the right place. Love it.